All right, let's talk some Lamar Jackson. Been making a few of these Lamar Jackson good videos. Here's another one because Lamar Jackson is good. This was a wild game, and I actually missed it live. I was too busy, unfortunately, watching my Tampa Bay Rays collapse against the Boston Red Sox, but that's for discussion for another day. However, Lamar Jackson, he did something that's never been done before. I mean, this is the second time a Raven has broken a record. Obviously, the Justin Tucker kick. Lamar Jackson, first quarterback in NFL history to have a game where he passes for over 400 yards with an 85 plus completion percentage, which again, how much do we really take stock into that? I don't know. But he was incredible, especially in the fourth quarter. And let's talk about what went right and even what went wrong early on. So right here, we're going to start off with the fumble. So Lamar keeps it himself. And if this was an option, which it might have been, he probably should have just handed it off, quite frankly. Although, again, I know the Ravens sometimes run these plays that look like options, but aren't actually options. What I also know is that you look at, I paused it right here. This is not exactly where you want to be holding the ball, is, out. I think what Lamar was trying to do was he was planning on reaching to try and get to the goal line. He would later do this on a 2-point conversion attempt, which I have no problem with doing it there because the risk factor there is a lot less because unless they get it returned for a touchdown, it doesn't matter. And, well, they almost got this one returned for a touchdown. But look, as he tries to get it back into his other hand, it looks like that's when he lost it. That was a tough play from Lamar. I thought that most of what went wrong with the Ravens offense early on was kind of outside of his control. This one was definitely a tough mistake, and, they were a little lucky that it didn't come back to bite them. But let's talk about the comeback now. So, all right here, this is the play that, this really kickstarted the whole comeback because you're down 19 with 16 minutes left. And the way this route works is that Hollywood Brown is running a route where he fakes as though he's running over the middle, but is then going to run a go route. And I love this kind of stuff because against cover 3, a lot of that over the middle stuff is what teams run, especially the Baltimore Ravens. And to me, this is just great thinking by, I thought Greg Roman has done an incredible job so far this season with the Ravens offense, a guy who gets a lot of criticism, but I think he deserves a lot of credit this year. Basically, what I love about this type of play is typically an over-the-middle route is something to be expected against this type of coverage. And what I love about that is it's a great play call when you call a play that's designed to beat the coverage you're going up against. It's a absurdly great play call when you do something like this, where it's not just you're faking as though you're running a route that's designed to beat this coverage, then doing something else that can allow you to get wide open. Because watch what happens. So look, Lamar takes the snap. He is going to eventually fire this one deep, and you see how open Marquise Brown is able to get right here. So great job on that play call. Great route ran by Marquise Brown, but now Lamar does still have to hit him. However, he does throw a perfectly accurate ball. That one just all around incredible by everyone involved in that Raiders offense, and even the defense. It's hard to kill the Colts that badly because it kind of made sense to get fooled on that play. It was just a good play call and really well executed. You have something like this. We got to talk about Mark Andrews for a second. It's going to be a cover 2 zone, and the way this concept works is you have the 2 receivers lined up to Lamar's left who are running further deep routes. You then have Andrews, who's currently lined up to the offense's right, but he's going to run all the way over to the left. And in zone coverage, this can definitely confuse defenders a little bit because you're typically viewing things from the sideline in, so when someone else gets to your side of the field, sometimes you can get fooled. And so watch how right when this play starts, this play is working. Again, Andrews is going to get open. We got to talk about Mark Andrews. He was awesome in this game as well. He had 147 yards. Him and Marquise Brown both over 100 yards on their own, so that's, certainly very good. And again, just a perfect throw. That's exactly where you want it. Great catch by Andrews. I feel like Andrews could have gotten his second hand on it, kind of a weird play, but still is able to make the grab and hang on. Really good job by him. Really good job by Lamar. And again, this stuff does kind of get set up when you know what coverage the team is running that you're playing against, and you can kind of game plan around that. Of course, the reason that, you typically know what coverage other teams are running is because teams don't want to play man against Lamar Jackson because he can run all over you. And then there's just some stuff like this where it's just like, how is this even possible? The guy is, you know, I know that it's become a cliche to say like this guy is a cheat code. Lamar Jackson is a cheat code. Like he legitimately is. On this play, you have interior defensive lineman who's going to create some immediate pressure. I mean, look, right when this play starts, Lamar is currently in trouble. I think it's fair to say that basically every other quarterback in the NFL gets sacked right here. Like maybe not Kyler Murray, but he's like a maybe, and he would be the only exception. But Lamar like is basically like he doesn't even like get phased by the contact, and then runs outside the pocket. I have to pause it right here just for copyright reasons, but he's going to end up picking up the first down on a 2nd and 2 as opposed to a sack, which would have made it like a 3rd and 8 or so. So just kind of goes to show just the insane elusiveness of Lamar Jackson. And even when plays don't work out, he can absolutely bail you out better than anyone, quite frankly. And I also thought something like this is very fascinating as well. This would end up being on the game-tying touchdown. And it's another play, it's another example of just how much Lamar Jackson's running ability just screws with an opposing defense. Because on this play, it's zone defense, but that's not really what I'm paying more attention to. Really the defensive line on this play. So there is a twist, which means that, you know, the interior defensive lineman is going to basically become the edge. The edge basically becomes a defensive tackle. You do that to try and fool guys. But anyways, watch what happens. So Lamar takes the snap, and you see that I'm going to pause it right here. What's really fascinating to me about these defensive players is they're essentially in like a run defense mode. Watch them really pay no attention to trying to get pressure on Lamar. They're just trying to make sure Lamar can't run, which now gives Lamar way more time to make the throw. So it's not a horrible strategy, right? Let your defensive linemen do their best to make sure Lamar can't get outside the pocket. But when you do that, it now allows Lamar to have more time. So there really is no good way to beat Lamar. There's just less bad ways to do it. So yeah, he's been truly remarkable. To me, I think people are saying that he's taken a big step up from last year. I still don't believe that. I think he was this guy last year. He just didn't have anybody to throw to. And when you don't have guys to throw to, every offense looks bad. I made a whole like 30+ minute long video talking about that. And that's why I predicted that he was going to have a much better season this year, and so far that has worked out. So listen, I've been doing this for a few years now. I've had some bad takes. Lamar Jackson being great, absolutely one of my better takes. From day one, I've been on the Lamar Jackson hype train, and it's going well so far. So very fun game, very fascinating game. I would still say, like, hey, play better in the first 3 quarters, and maybe you'll be going a little bit better. But still, incredible game. You could argue, hey, the Ravens only won due to some missed field goals, but my counter to that is, you know who doesn't miss field goals? Justin Tucker. Kickers matter. I've been talking about this for forever. Kickers are very important. Like, you got to make your field goals. It is what it is. So, yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.